is there. Great to see many familiar faces, but also quite a few new faces, which is fantastic. For those of you who are new, TIAO is based in Brussels, but we're a global team. So Jane and Jack are based in Cleveland, Ohio. Kathy is based in Boise, Idaho. I think Jim Dowling was here as well. So he's based in North Carolina. Tajdeed, based in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Paula, based in Barcelona, but originally from Peru. Jean and I, we're based in Brussels. We have Abdallah, based in Sweden. And together with our friends from around the world, we are building a global community of practitioners for positive change. The acronym TIAO, TIAO, stands for Trust is an Outcome. As TIAO, we believe that trust is not a prerequisite for collaboration, but it is a powerful outcome of working together. And we want to revolutionize the way businesses, communities, civil society networks collaborate, connect, and create value in a digital age, in a world that is more uncertain, volatile, dynamic than ever. Every Friday, we host a talk for our members of the TIAO Community for Positive Change, in which we focus on the many challenges that require a collaborative approach to solve. And we dive into the various collaborative methodologies that exist. As TIAO, we operate methodology-agnostic. By that, we mean there is not one collaborative approach that is best. We believe that the methods and skills required depend on the context we find ourselves in and the type of challenge we're dealing with. We're also method pluralistic. By that, we mean we would like to bring as many practitioners of different methodologies together in one community and share their stories. So today we are delighted to have Sue Bird as our guest speaker. Sue is currently facilitator with the European Commission and chair of the Belgian Chapter of the International Association of Facilitators. And previously, Sue worked full-time with the European Commission for more than 30 years as policy and program officer. So, today, Sue will guide us through thinking how teams can be steered towards a more bottom-up, inclusive approach to their work, either as leaders or as team players or as both, which can trigger a more efficient way of working in surprising ways. And she will take us through the work of the IAF, the International Association of Facilitators, as well, because she's the chair of their Belgian chapter. Over to you, Sue. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joost. And hello to everybody. Welcome to the session this afternoon, wherever you are and whatever time it is, because I understand some people are linking in probably ridiculously late or ridiculously early. So thank you very much. I'm based in Brussels, like Joost. And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon for us, so it's quite relatively comfortable. But anyway, so it's lovely to be with you today. And Joost really has given a very suitable introduction. There's not more I need to add to that, other than to say that since leaving the European Commission, where indeed I was a policy and program officer in all sorts of different policy areas, but where I was also trained in the area which is our subject this afternoon, which is in the area of facilitation. And I still do some work in the area of facilitation with the European Commission, which I do pro bono, alongside some work that I give myself as a broader European public affairs specialist, in that I've set myself up independently as a consultant. And I have a number of other projects as well, which are equally exciting, but I shan't talk about those today. So look, let's have a quick look at facilitation as a subject before I'm going to ask Tash to bring up the presentation that I'd like to shortly present to you, not spend too long on the presentation. But what is facilitation? Well, my understanding of facilitation is that we as facilitators, we facilitate meetings, we lead, we steer, we encourage discussions with groups of people, usually groups or teams of people who work together, who would like to do things like team building, who would like to discuss their group strategy in more depth, who would maybe like to discuss their mission in more depth. And they maybe, for instance, want to look at change management. You know, they're going through a time of change as an organization, and they want to look at what it implies for them, and how they can weather that change, and how they can work better together. So so that is the aim of facilitation, and what I propose to do now is go through the presentation about the International Association of Facilitators, which is the facilitator professional body, and to which Joost has referred to already, that I am a member and currently chair of the Belgian chapter. Joost himself is also a member. He's one of our newest members in the Belgian chapter. So, so I'm very pleased to have him along as well, and as a member. But if we have a quick look at these slides, they are quite, some of them are quite dense, as you will see, and I don't want us to spend so much time on those quite dense slides, but I understand that Joost and his colleagues will put these slides up on TIAO platform after this event, so you will be able to consult them and look at them in more detail than we're able to cover today. So here is our International Association of Facilitators, and promoting the power of facilitation worldwide. Can I have the second slide, Tashdid? And so yeah, it's a personal story, IAF. It's very much about people. We are a professional body about people, promoting the power of facilitation, and in doing so, we hope to. A key important point is that we enable powerful change. So next slide, please. And our members are those people worldwide who have an interest in facilitation as a subject, and use it in helping people to work together effectively. Next slide, please. Yeah. And yeah, so here we have the nature or the profile of our members, and our members work in government, corporate sector, non-profit, education, community, international development, etc. So, you know, facilitators are neutral when it comes to subject or policy or process or product or company sector being discussed, but we do work with all sorts of sectors, and we have the ability to for a certain amount of flexibility to work across a number of sectors, in fact, although, you know, our background may be from a particular sector. Next slide. And our vision: to see professional facilitation used throughout the world. Mission: to grow our community of practice according to internationally accepted standards, where we build the credibility of facilitation. And take a look at these values maybe. We are inclusive as an organization. We want to fully involve anyone who is signs up to be a member, in as much as that particular member wishes to be involved. We are open. We encourage open conversation, discussion, exchanges. We do have a global perspective. We have the global global management. The headquarters of IAF is in Canada. And we have regions. We're organized as regions all around the world. Here in Brussels, in Belgium, we belong to the Europe and Middle East region. Of course, professionalism, and we'll see a little bit more of that further down this presentation. And then leadership. Can you go back, please, Tashdid? Yeah, leadership. We are all leaders in our own way, and then excellence, as seeking after, as any self-respecting profession would do, seek excellence. Next slide, please. Now, yeah. we are valued as a worldwide community where we grow our skills, and we work to internationally accepted standards that we ourselves help put together and promote. Next slide, please. Number of aspirations we have as an association: to be recognized, to come to the top of searches about facilitation, to be credible, and going back to the point I made earlier, all fields of facilitation, so all sectors, facilitation as applied to all sectors, and where the voices of facilitators are heard as well. Please continue. Membership, yeah, we have a number of membership benefits. Carry on. Next slide. Where we, as members, we do have certain membership benefits around being able to access educational resources, being able to be mentored if we wish, being able to receive information about commercial opportunities as facilitators, and being able to study for a qualification also that the association promotes. Carry on, please. You become a member. You're buying a service rather than joining a global community. Well, I would say both, actually. Oh, yes, sorry, but you're not buying a service. Sorry, you're not buying a service. No, true, but joining a global community. In fact, you do buy a service, in fact, because you buy membership and you get certain rewards, but certainly the global community is really important. Carry on. Credibility. We have a statement of values and code of ethics. Carry on. We have an IAF online knowledge center. Indeed, we do, for all sorts of exchanges, for access to online meetings, and for access to different facilitation methods that all or any of us can place in that center at any time. Please carry on. And professional development as well. We have a set of core facilitator competencies which have been worked on and developed over time, and which we are encouraged to refer to and use as a basis for creating excellence in our facilitation work. Carry on, please. Yeah, we have an IAF members directory. So we can all contact each other, and free to do so. And clearly, these are members who are based all around the world. Carry on. And here's our scale of participation. So, this ranges from being a fan, someone who just who's just started to take an interest, through being a friend. You upgrade that interest, and then the big step from friend to member, and that tends to be it is quite a big step. And then you can have the opportunity, of course, of being a local leader. I suppose you call myself a local leader. With one of the many chapters of the association. Then you can become accredited with the different in the different qualification areas that we offer, or a global player. You can serve on IAF's global board if you wish. Carry on. And then just finally, it mentions Facilitation Week last year, but in fact, Facilitation Week is every year. And that is a fantastic opportunity for people to get together online and in person in somewhere in the world. So you have the chance to travel clearly if you wish, for a week of activities about facilitation and which are themselves facilitated. So a huge opportunity to learn and to network. Carry on. Can't see anything there. Facilitation week. Yeah, just a little bit more detail. Carry on, please. Thank you. So
Yeah.
that's my summary presentation. So what I would like to do is just briefly, going on from what I said at the beginning, about the nature of facilitation, and what it is in practice. I'd like to just give you one or two examples of facilitation methods that I use personally and which have proved again and again to be successful. And some of these you may have come across, because they are reasonable, or something similar, because they are reasonably well used. But the first one I would refer to is a method called World Cafe. And in the World Cafe, you have one main question. So, for instance, I would typically work with the promoters of these group-led events, maybe away days, which will come on to team building events. And I would say to the organizers, I would say, what is your key question today? What is your key question this afternoon? They may say, well, what should be our mission? Going back to something we said, what should be our mission over the next year? So that's the main question. And we would then split the room into groups. So, groups that can work together. So groups of up to 10 people. And each group would have that question. And within each group, there would be one person who hosts and the others who contribute their views. And then after a few minutes, 10 minutes, they all move around. And then after 10 minutes, they all move around again, the different tables with the same question. And then you come together in plenary at the end and people give their feedback. And then it's the facilitator's job to filter down to maybe a set of 6 main points that might have come forward, and then you ask people to vote on those 6 points. Which do you consider to be the most important points as regards fulfilling or looking at or establishing a mission for our year ahead? And people will come forward, with their dots, and these that will be on a flip chart, and the dots will be put against the various points, and you come up with 3 main points. And it's a very effective, participatory, inclusive way of making sure that everybody has the chance to input, and everybody and clearly, these things are often emotive subjects. You might think, oh, mission statement, mission is very dry, but actually people do have strong views about this. They often have strong views about the mission of the team they're working with. And so it's a chance for them to voice those views, but also to be stimulated to think more laterally when they hear the views of other people. And hence the importance of moving between different groups, because then your thought processes evolve over time. And you get to understand better where other people come from. So anyway, that's quite a nice exercise. And when you come up with those 3 points at the end, those 3 main points, very often, the team leader, the head of unit at the European Commission that I would work with typically, they'd say, wow, I didn't realize those were the 3 main points. I've been wondering for ages whether it's this or that or that. That is so helpful. Thank you very much. And another example of something I use, which is really quite good fun, is that if you have a unit, say, of people working together, about 25, 30 people, and they are and within that unit are 3 teams, around about 10 people each. Often, certainly in bigger organizations, they work in silos a little bit. So the team knows pretty well what they do, but the other teams don't know what each other does. So within the team, okay, but between the teams, not so much. So what I do is have them in a fun setting as well, have each team acting out a little 3-minute play which illustrates to the rest of their colleagues what they do on a day-to-day basis, and it'll be things, I'll stimulate them with questions and say, well, what is most important to you during a working day? you know, what things you work on motivate you, what things you work on make you feel angry, what things is there any humorous incidents, you know, that you would like to portray, and the whole thing, you know, in theatre form, and you know, when the groups come back together in plenary and they have the chance to act out those 3 minutes that they've prepared over 20 minutes, half an hour together to present the activities of their teams. Often it's very entertaining. You know, you can people sit back and think, "Oh, I didn't know," and "Oh, how amusing!" You know, how strange they do that. I didn't realize they did that. You know, and that can be quite revealing as well for teams wishing to get to know each other better. So that's another exercise. Third exercise, briefly, because I can see time going on, is that I use an exercise called body parts. And this revolves around um, using on a sheet of paper, typically on a flip chart sheet of paper, draw a body, and the groups, people are in groups, have a body each, and against the shoulder, or against the right hand, or against the left foot, or against the stomach, or against the heart, then they pin points which are important to them, bearing in mind that the eyes as well. The eyes is for the vision. The right hand is what I hope to push forward. The left hand is maybe what I need help with. The right foot is what I would kick out. The stomach is what I find most nourishing. And the heart is where I feel the most about something to do with the work environment. And that's quite nice. And you bring everybody together, you know, at the end, and we form a plenary, and there again we filter down, you know, what the most important points are, and that is usually very helpful and very participative. That is very helpful for the heads of units and the leaders wanting to work on how the teams can work better together. So there you are. There's some examples, and I want to stop talking now, and I want us to go into breakout rooms and have a look at some of this stuff, you know, and how it affects us very personally, you know, in whatever situation we're in. Because I mean, I'm not aware where the background, where all of you come from, needless to say, and in fact not many of you, but I suspect, again, you know, as with the International Association of membership, that you, some of you are independent, some of you work in teams already, some work with teams from time to time, some work in big organizations, small organizations, or a mixture, because you've had a mixed career. So that's wonderful. That's a wonderful position to be in, to think about some of these elements this afternoon, which make teams tick, or make teams not tick, as the case may be, and where perhaps something needs to be done to, you know, to make sure that it's a more positive working environment in future. So Tashdid, can we prepare to go out and go into the first breakout room? And we need the first question now. You know, what the first breakout room discussions will look at. So here we go. Thank you very much. So look at this carefully. In your experience of chairing, I've lost it now. Let me just scroll down. In your experience of chairing, moderating, leading, or being part of teams, and you could have been in any of those positions now or in the past, what is the uppermost issue? What's the key issue for you in relation to the way a team works together? And, you know, that uppermost issue could be something which is very positive for you in terms of your experience, or it could be something which is negative, actually, and which has marked you and remained with you, and is maybe something, you know, you might wish to somehow come to a resolution about. So the uppermost issue, and I think Tashki can now put us into these breakout groups only for 5 minutes. So, you know, we have to be succinct. Not easy, I know, because I've been in such breakouts many times, as we all have, and so I encourage you to be succinct because we've got this 5 minutes. So here's your question again. In your experience of chairing, moderating, leading, or being part of teams, what is the uppermost issue for you in relation to the way a team works together?